case. Just put it that way.
Yeah, but I'm just saying they have all my documentation. They don't have to order my documents from Canada or anything. They have no reason to have contact with Canada other than saying I'm deporting her back. If they wanted to deport me out and they thought the immigration judge could deport me, they could have had me going back by now. I could have been finished the whole process by now and been on a plane back to Canada because they have all my documents. They could have sent me on the next flight. That's it. The country, Canada told me no matter what, they will accept me back at any time, which is messed up because, they weren't really supposed to know anything about that. But
most people flee before they have evidence, before they have documents. This case is just wrong for them.
Said most people flee before they have evidence.
Yeah, most cases don't have evidence for it. That's what they said. Most people don't have evidence. They end up having to call family to write affidavits and stuff like that as evidence. But a family writing an affidavit can still be a lie because, you can have the same story as your family, but, you guys could have made that story together. They don't have physical video evidence or audio or, court documents or anything, excuse me. So it's like, I don't understand what the problem is. Like, many people get asylum for arrest. Like, people straight up lie and get asylum in this country.
You know what the most damning thing is that, yes, the lawyer said that you have remedy in court. But the problem is that the people that you were taking to court arrested you on the way into court against them.
Yeah, so it's viable to assume that they'll arrest you while you're seeking remedy again. Just because you're seeking remedy doesn't mean you'd actually get it if you did apply for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I said that, and he said, well, you could sue the department.
Really? From jail? Or if I'm dead and they shoot me? Yes. This is the thing that these things are damning because you can't tell somebody to sue somebody if they get shot. You're trying to prevent not being tortured.
And it's like when I'm supposed to keep trying to sue the person, and every time I try to sue them, they arrest me before going in court. Like, that just doesn't make sense. I was going in court against that very RCMP detachment who ended up arresting me and refusing me allowed to go into the court.
And they
didn't charge us with anything. They didn't convict us of anything. Nothing.
No.
Because then we would have to go into court and talk with the judge and bring our evidence and have our speech. They didn't want that. They threatened to charge with everything. And then those same RCMP people telling me if I don't answer any questions about the federal corporation, then they're not going to protect me. And if I don't take the COVID test, then they're not going to protect me from Battlefords Union Hospital to the other hospital that I'm going down the street, the Saskatchewan hospital. I was like, what is that supposed to mean?
You see, they tortured you to get information about the corporation that was taking them to court.
And then they kept asking me, and then rotating many police officers doing that for hours on end. That is exhausting. That's mentally exhausting.
That's torture. It is torture.
I started to fall asleep, like getting drowsy. And they tell me I have to answer the questions of the person because they don't know if I'm going to be safe to go into the hospital. So they said I have no choice but to talk with the mental health lady who works for the police department.
They can't interrogate you if they arrested you for COVID. That's their problem.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't. If you're taking somebody for isolation for health reasons, what are you interrogating them for?
Exactly. They had notes, and I said to them, is this thing that you're taking me under criminal? They said, no, you can look at it right there. I said, I know what this is, but I'm asking you to say out of your mouth that this is not criminal. Like, I'm asking you if this is criminal or not. They said, no, that's not criminal. instead of letting me call my own legal representation, anything. No, they told me I could not talk with a lawyer or anything because I'm not cooperating by taking that COVID test, and I'm not cooperating by giving them information about the federal corporation or the court hearing. I'm like, you could have just went to the court hearing. You would have known all about the court hearing if you just shut up. Like, what they did was legitimate torture. Like, the RCMP kidnapped somebody and tortured them and did things to them that had nothing to do with COVID-19. If one public health, one public officer, one peace officer was supposed to take me, and nobody signed that paper. No peace officer signed that paper. Only one was supposed to come and escort me back to my house where I can be self-isolated. They were not supposed to take me to force me into the hospital, the prison side of the hospital. And then when I came to the prison side of the hospital, they were like, why isn't she in cuffs? And like, I was like, what the actual hell? Then they forced me to sign these papers before I left, but nothing when I came in. They wouldn't even let me read the paper. Whenever I tried to pick it up to read it, they grabbed it from me, put it back on the table and said, you need to sign. Like, what they did was straight up torture. Like, the federal police kidnapped somebody and interrogated them without cause, tried to exhaust them, had many different RCMP coming in and out, search me. She had no right to search me, but she searched me, and the man was there when she searched me. Then she told him to leave when she searched under my clothes and everything, telling me to lift my shirt and stuff. And I was like, what the hell? You don't have the right to search me. I didn't do any crime or anything. And I emptied all of my stuff from my pocket and jacket in front of the nurse lady and everybody, because the RCMP, before they said they searched me, they say, sometimes people have needles or knives in their pockets that they just don't know is there. I was like, excuse me? I was like, no. The nurse is going to come in here because I'm not going to have them tell me, oh, she have a knife or a needle and then shoot me. No. They were trying to constantly do so much messed up stuff. That is just, no. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And then they tried to get the black man to come in and they said, did you feel comfortable with the black man, the black officer? I said, he's a police. He's a police. And he's here with you guys doing all this wickedness, like I'm supposed to just trust someone just because they have the same color skin as me? No. When they're a part of the torture being an Uncle Tom. 1 minute remaining. Like, I don't know how Canada don't. They keep saying that I had lawful detainment under COVID, but I don't have COVID. I've been tested. I don't have COVID. And they did not. They interrogated me unlawfully. They detained me unlawfully. I had no symptoms. They didn't tell me who I came in contact with. They didn't tell me where.
They interrogate.
And the day that I came in contact, you were there.
They interrogated you about a federal corporation that was taking them to court.
Exactly.
Under the guise of COVID.
Exactly. It had nothing to do with COVID. Like, it straight up was just...
And you know why they had to do that, Kaysha? Because that 53-page report that was produced for Misha Porter, they couldn't take you under the mental health warrant as well. It would look like they were specifically going after the criminal negligence case and the complaints for QB.